to LA. Since you on your way to the good life, you put some ice on your wrist, nice. And you on your way up, I hope you can stay up. Everybody got dreams and things that they would die for. Some might get high for, or lose their mind for. Bright lights in the city of angels. Just be careful you don't dance with the devil. Always remember what it is that you came for. Ain't gotta take it from me. Welcome to LA.
Yeah, like recently I went and visited a spot called Point Mugu out here at Point Mugu, right?
What is it?
And it's near the Santa Monica Mountains, and there's like ancient Sphinx ruins up there. There's actually a drop-in video on it.
Move.
Yeah, Move. Yeah.
Yeah. So you went to that spot with the Sphinx.
Yeah.
That's crazy. How was it, man? Like, when I say how was it? Like,
It's energetic, bro. Like you can feel it.
Yeah.
And even
Like
like
uncovering this history, seeing this history these days, you know what I mean? How does that, for instance, the things that we're learning right now, and how America has a lot of the old world monuments and relics and all of that stuff within it. How does it feel to see it now and be able to go in these places, and, you know, how does it feel for you? You know what I mean? Being there and understanding what you understand now.
Man, I'll put it like this, bro. It is, I feel like I've been rebirthed. Okay? Like 100%. I went to Joshua Tree on 4th of July, and I did my first plant medicine ritual there. And it was literally the most freeing experience of my life, what I experienced in the stars, you know what I mean? What I experienced, like, you know, being able to astral travel and participate in that. And just there in Joshua Tree especially, bro, because it is ancient ground, you know, and there was a whole civilization of people that lived there. Queen Califia ruled over this area. And, you know, they call it Joshua Tree for a reason because, you know, legend is that, you know, Quetzalcoatl and, you know, this is a part of that whole vibe, you know what I mean? So,
Right.
like, when you're there in Joshua Tree National Park, they got these giant rocks. And at first you think they're just rocks. But you step back and you're like, wow, this used to be a real monument. This was that. And you can see it because your spiritual eyes open, so you start to really see how these things once were. And it's dope, bro. Like, it's really like, it makes you feel happy to be alive for the first time in a different way because you don't feel like you're disconnected from anything. You feel like you're a part of all things that are happening, that were, because it makes your ancestors real for you, right? That was my biggest thing on my journey that I've been on, is that my ancestors came alive for me.
You know, it's crazy when you bring up Joshua, and I had come across some literature referring to Joshua, and I talk to my wife about this all the time. I've shared it on Facebook a few times, but, you know, Joshua was arguably a giant, what we would call a giant.
Right.
The literature I came across said that his nose was like 19 inches long. You know what I mean? And I'm thinking, like, we don't understand. Like, it's okay to talk about we come from these people and we're connected to these people, but put it in its proper place. You know, at one point, let's say the trees, before they cut down the trees and the oxygen was in more, you know, the oxygen was better and the people were bigger. See, we think about Joshua, we think about Moshe, we think about all these people, and we don't understand that they were actually huge.
Yes.
You know what I mean? They weren't we can't relate to them in a physical aspect. We can put them in our minds, and now they become relatable. But Joshua was very important, but I like to look at it like, yo, dude was a giant, or what we would call a giant. You know what I mean? And this kind of changes the whole aspect of the landscape to me, of the earth. You know what I mean? Like, people were actually big as heck back in the day. You know what I mean? Like, I'm a big dude, but I'm not big compared to him. You know what I mean?
Adam was like 100 feet tall.
Yeah, 60 cubits, something like that. And
like, come on, dude, you got to think, because that's why when people watch Avatar, they be freaked out, right? Like,
yeah. I didn't hear you. I can't hear you. I didn't hear you.
I said, what people don't get when they watch Avatar is that's you. You watching.
Right.
We wasn't that big when they came over here.
Mm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you got to think about it, bro. They don't want you to know where you come from and what you really are. But when this eclipse happens, people gonna see it. That's what I think is gonna be the day that those December gonna be wild.
What's up with the sky out there? Have you seen? Has the sky been like rainbow, like purple and in all different colors? Have you just
So on 4th of July, I saw almost every planet in the sky all at the same time.
Wow.
It was so clear, and because of the moon eclipse, it was a lunar eclipse.
Right.
I mean, I don't know if it was, bro. It's like I saw almost every star in the sky. It was amazing, and then the big stars that were closest had like these. It's like some type of essence around it. And it didn't look like a web, like they were all interconnected. It was like crazy the way it looked that night.
It's wild. It's wild that this COVID shut down travel. And because it shut down travel, it shut down the smog and congestion. So now you're able to see the sky, you're able to see the stars, and you're able to see the planets in a whole bigger clip. You know what I mean? Like, this is all, it has to have a reason behind it. And no, I don't have the answers as to why. You know what I mean? But I remember driving from Georgia to Jersey, and you go through Tennessee, and riding through Tennessee is one of the clearest parts of the East Coast where you can see the stars, and it's like they're right over your car. You know what I mean? You get out the car and it's just lit up. The sky's lit up, and it's like you can touch them, man. It's crazy. It's beautiful. I don't have an understanding of it like that, or like I don't have a full understanding how you just described it. I know out here sometimes when I look up, they kind of sparkle. You know what I mean? They kind of glisten. You know what I mean? And I'm understanding. I'm learning that some people even believe the stars are like entities in and of itself. You know what I mean? They are celestial, like the celestial bodies are beings or whatever. Or I ain't gonna go too deep. I'm gonna leave it there.
Yeah, I mean, I just like for people. What I always tell people is just leave your imagination open. What I say is don't limit your life experience because of someone else's research or someone else's. Like, that's what I never wanted to do for myself. I always wanted to think for myself, well, why is it that way? Why can't it be the way that I think? But it could.
Right.
Like,
let me do the experiment. Let me find out and find out that I'm wrong.
Right. And that's why I love when Drop says, how can you prove me wrong when you haven't even proven your own self right? You can't tell us who we are.
Yeah. Nah, they can't tell us who we are, man. Like you mentioned your family. My family, from a child, they used to tell us who we were to an extent. And the only thing I regret is not being old enough and knowing what I know now to talk to my grandmother, who could have told me more about her grandmother or her mother. You know what I mean? Because my aunts and uncles, I got mad aunts and uncles, but None of them really know much. So I got some cousins that I got in touch with who are on my mother's side, and they're the ones that was able to tell me more about the family history. But that's about as far as I can go outside of the census and everything like that. But on that journey, yo, that's crazy. Like if you ever been on Ancestry.com and you looked at the census of some of your family members, to me, I got real emotional looking at the handwriting of some of my ancestors.
Yeah.
That's deep, bro. It's crazy. Like looking at the handwriting, yo, it's like, yo, that's crazy, man.
I think it kind of like when I got to like the 1800s.
Yeah.
Like, dang, that's my people right there.
Right, yo, that's crazy. That's crazy.
I was able to see my great-great-grandmother when she was 4 years old.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then I got to also see how they was literally changing the census from Indian to mulatto to black. Like they just doing whatever they wanted. We didn't even have any idea how that was affecting us.
Mm. Yeah.
You know, and how it would affect those to come. I don't think they knew. You know,
I don't think they knew either because my people are Hayes and Burke. And I recently found like in 1904 they have the Burke Law. And this is after the Trail of Tears. So inside some of those Choctaw that went to Oklahoma, they were Burkes.
okay.
But also you got some people that were Hayeses. And I'm at a point now, I'm trying to figure out why my people stayed in Georgia. Like, what was the reason?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And that dog, like you just mentioned, they have no idea how it would affect the people. So I got in contact with the Choctaw Nation in Oklahoma, and they were basically telling me, like, if your people weren't on the Dawes roll when they introduced the rolls, then they're not going to be classified as Indian. And I'm just like, the person was really respectful and really helpful, but I'm like, that's really racist. Like that's not even fair. Just because they weren't on the paper, but they're still associated with the family, they're not Indian. Like that makes no sense. You know what I mean? A piece of paper can take you in or take you out of something. Nah, it doesn't make any sense to me.
And the thing about it is, like all of that, like you can there's loopholes through all of that, right? Because you could send your birth certificate and just make it so that you are of one of those 5 quote unquote civilized. But the thing about it is, what needs to be established is you on the UCC level.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Because once you are doing business as your living soul, now you're alive.
Right. Strong, man.
So that's the most important thing, is to establish yourself alive in commerce. And so
can you explain that for anybody that might listen, for anybody who might check this out? Can you explain what that means? Because I'm looking at you and you're looking at me, and we're living souls, right? But what does it mean to what is a person? You know, what is a human being according to, you know, Black's law? You know what I mean? What does this mean? Why is it important to know?
Because boom. It's right. It's not no games. You see what I'm saying? Like, and then I got the first edition over here too. But you know, for people who might check this out, I'll make it real easy for you, right? The way that it was explained to me so that I really got it was, when we're born dead in the eyes of the law.
Okay.
Right? But you're a living person. Like, you're alive. Like, right? But until you come alive in the eyes of the law, you'll always be seen as dead. And so dead people don't have the same rights as a living person. See, all of the Bill of Rights, the Constitution, those are for living souls, right? And so the reason why they classified us a long time ago as 3/5 human is because they didn't get the fact that our DNA has the Creator's DNA.
Mm.
So that's why we are part the Creator and part the Earth.
Okay.
And so when you want to become a living soul, you have to declare that you're alive legally. So what you do is you take your birth certificate, you have to amend it because it says Black or Negro more than likely, unless your parents made sure that they knew these things and you were classified as your nationality, right? So you come alive in the eyes of the law by making a declaration universally and putting them on notice that, hey, I'm going to take control of my administration back. I'm going to go ahead and take administration over my estate because now I'm no longer a minor. Everybody's got a minor security account, right?
Right.
So when you turn 18, you're supposed to go and see the secretary, or not. You're not supposed to go, but you could write a letter to the secretary of the state and let them know, like, hey, I am now assuming control of my minor security account. Like, people, they got stocks, they got savings bonds and all kind of stuff that is under your name, but you don't know because you're not checking for it. But guess who's using it? They are, right? So when to become a living soul, your living soul is your mind, body, and spirit, right? So that's your trustee.
Oh, yeah, the sound just sound a little strange.
No, it's all good. But but yeah, you have to go and reestablish yourself. That's what it is about, reestablishing yourself. Because most people don't realize is that they think they're establishing themselves by getting a job and doing all this. No, you're just playing into the system. Now you're just getting more debt on top of that name, right? Because what they did is they made a name, a fictitious business name, which is your name in all caps, which is what it's all your Social Security, your driver's license, all of that, right? So that
all of the contracts
right,
within
all caps name is an entity. It's a business entity, right?
Yeah.
You don't realize that you're operating under a false name. So you're actually committing fraud, and you don't even know.
Right.
So the whole point is who's going to call out who first for committing fraud against who? Because that's what it is, basically. Because you're unaware, right? So they want you.
But bro, does it even matter? Like, for the most part, people just walking around, like Nas used to say, black zombies. It doesn't matter because we're gonna live and we're gonna die. If somebody doesn't know about this information and they die, does it even matter? Like, what's the point? What does it matter?
Well,
I'm asking.
It matter only because we don't die like people say that we die, right? There's multiple planes. There's more land and a lot to do, And I say it matters because your spirit is collecting this debt. Like we talked about earlier, when you were talking about how did he become righteous, right? He was righteous because he lived a debt-free life. And because he had principles and morals, like you said, they raised him up into a position. But being out of debt is what made him, quote unquote, white as snow. Because white is a legal status. Black, a legal status. These things are statuses and titles. We're talking about titles and status all the time. You know what I'm saying? So that's really what it comes down to is like, yo, I'm not finna leave my legacy with no debt. So when I have a child, now my child gonna be born free.
Right.
Cause I ain't got no debt. And when I get married again and I have a child, my child will be free because my wife will have no debt. And that's what I want. I want a free child.
Right. Free life. How is the community? Is there a community out there that, you study with, or they talk about this? They go through these actions together, or you just know a few?
Definitely. So I'm a part of a tribal government called the TNU, which is the Tribal Nations United, and they're based out of Nevada. And the website is tnuglobal.com.
Okay.
And they got a ton of resources on there for people who are ready to get out. You know what I mean? Hold on, let me look it up real quick. I'll see if I can make it.
tnuglobal.com.
Yeah. Ooh, that's TNU.
And these people, they're what makes them official? What makes this group, or what makes this organization, or this party, what makes it official?
Well, this is what I'll say. Because everybody's always skeptical, right? And so for me, I'm a person who's about documents. So if you can show me the documents and they certified and they real, and you can show me your tribal plates and your tribal embassy, and like these people, they had it together. It wasn't like hey brother, I can do this for you. It was like, hey brother, this is it, and I'm gonna show it to you because you deserve it. You know what I mean? And so this brother, he's not only like making moves for people who want to be free, but he's really focused on the children, and that's what brought me, here to this group particularly, because the primary focus was how do we get the children prepared for a better future, And they got their own currency. They have an embassy out there. They'll come and do a powwow with you and your family. They'll come and sit down with you, walk you through all the documentation, how to strategically withdraw. And not only that, they teach you the word too. You know what I mean? There's services, mental health services, there's counseling. There's the things that are in place that our people need, because it's like so many cats want to be sovereign, but you got to have services for your people. Like I ain't start, I'm gonna go get some land, I'm gonna get a house and do all this stuff, and I want people to come, but I need to have services already. You need to have health care, right? I need to have mental health care. I need to have just basic services on the land that people need. And so this is the way that we got to build together. Like, we're gonna do stuff together. Let's do it. Like you said, let's make it tangible, make it practical. Hey, we need ATVs. Hey, we need tractors. We need this. We need that. It's a lot of things that have to be administered when we're talking about building and developing a piece of land for people to inhabit. You know what I mean? How many houses we got to build? Do we have? Who's going to build these houses? Who's going to live in these houses? Are the people who live in this house, are they going to work here? You know what I mean?
Who's going to govern? Who's going to govern? Who's going to protect?
Right.
Those are the main things. Like, who's going to protect? I was just talking to some brothers online about security services. I know there's a black-owned security service that's worth like $5.5 million out of Detroit, and we should be on notice just from this past these protests that with Chaz and Chop, whatever they call it. People are carving out the land here, and it's getting unruly. So how exactly do we plan on protecting our own selves if the police say we're not going to protect? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Not saying that they protect us anyway, but all these cops are going they're leaving their posts. So when are we going to say, okay, we're going to establish our own security services? You know what I mean? Incorporate our own counties and towns. You know what I mean? That was something I seen in Atlanta back in 2007. It was Fulton County was connected to an area called Sandy Springs. Sandy Springs didn't want to spend the tax money with Fulton County. So what they did was, it took them a few years, but they finally got incorporated, where they cut themselves off from Fulton County. got their own police cars. They keep all their taxes and everything. You know what I mean? Why can't we do that? You know what I'm saying? What's the difference?
It's not about why can't we. It's like, let's just do it now.
Yeah. When are we going to? You know what I mean?
And I think it's just like, do it because you want to do it. That's how we got to do it. Like, I'm at a place where it's like, if I move to do it, I'm going to find 1 or 2 brothers that want to do it, and we're just going to move on. Even if we start with a small amount, at least it's getting done. And at least now it's like, when I meet another brother and he's interested, we already started. You know what I'm saying? Now it's like, hey, brother, this is what we doing. As opposed to, hey, we've been talking about doing this. It's about, hey, brother, I'm doing this already with these 2 brothers. And, you know, blah, 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 this is what's going on. Oh, yeah, man, take a look at this. Ooh, now he's like, man, I want to get it. I want to be down. Here's my bread.
Right.
Here's my situation, what I could bring to the table. It's just motion, bro. Everything's about motion and force, centrifugal force, momentum. And you got to have the momentum. Like, we never get started, so we don't ever have enough momentum to get things done and bust through the barriers that are going to come. It's going to be barriers no matter what, but you need the momentum to get through those things.
Yeah, most definitely. Most definitely. Talk about free, brother. Talk about free and your style and what's next. I know you had Welcome to LA. So, but talk about what's going on right now for you and what's up. What's right now? What's up next? And what Black Jagger is representing.
Boom, you go to the website blackjagger.com. Grab you some merch. Anybody who's watching, pushpower48.com. You can go get some merch. Pushpower48.com. But ultimately, right now, we're getting ready to do a lot of really fire art. Like, that's really my biggest focus. We're gonna drop a lot of music. We're going to shoot a short film. We're going to do a lot of other visuals. Just a lot of content in general. Like, I'm going to start my blog series. There's just a lot of things that I want to do and create that are going to empower people. And by empowering people, I'm empowering myself. You know what I mean? Like, there's a thing I want to do called Walks with Jagger. It's just literally like me going on a hike. And then, it's like out in a nice, whatever the nature spot is for the day. And then we get some cool B-roll, and then I just kind of drop some, like whatever the flow is for the day, and then just some cool music. And then I want to do like a whole series. I'm doing a series with actually my ex-girlfriend for my wife, and we're doing something called Restoring the Crown. And it's called A Journey of a King and Queen. So pretty much what it is a series about her and I and our separate lives that we've lived since we've been apart, but how we've grown in consciousness. And how we help each other heal, and then like there's music around it, and then she has her own brand, right? And I have my own brand. So just how a man and a woman in this time of day can heal and help each other. That's another series that we're doing. And then like albums coming out, couple albums, couple EP projects, and just a lot of collaboration. Looking to have and build collaboration with a lot of people. A lot of people, especially on the conscious side, a lot of people, especially on the music side, and in the community. More importantly in the community front. And with the program. That's the most important thing is getting that program.
I think the thing you got going on with your ex-wife is going to be pretty powerful because, unfortunately, there's a lot of divorce in our community. Well, statistics say there is a lot of divorce in our community. But like you mentioned, that healing, Dame Dash, he does something called Healing is Gangster. And we tend to think that you gotta be hard and you be cold hearted, you know what I mean? And nothing affects you. But in the reality, in the dark, cats is crying, you know what I mean? They're really hurting. So to be able to show, how you may help each other to heal, that's powerful. That's like the future, like I mentioned earlier, the future of business. Well, that could be something like the future of relationships, the future of friendships. the future of healing. You know what I mean? Like how people can. You may not need to go to a psychologist. And, who says that they're educated enough to help you? The person.
You're so right, bro. I was talking to my dad and a couple other people today about when you learn to remove the labels, the titles, and the expectations from somebody, then you see that person's spirit finally, and you could just love them for that, for just being, for just being a creative spirit, or just being a loving spirit, or just being those things, and we don't do that,
Right.
because when I see a woman, or a woman sees me, she expects certain things from me based off what society tells her.
Right.
And vice versa, right? So now I don't even get a chance to really get to know this person. And they don't get to know me. So now this whole time we trying to have a relationship with two fake people.
Right.
And that happens a lot, right? Because they choose relationships based off what they see instead of what they feel and what is real. Right? Like I know people who've been in a relationship with the right person for them. But because they don't see that person as an individual and what they bring to the table intrinsically, they move away from that person. That person continues to be who they said they were going to be because they have integrity, they have principles, and they work hard. Come to those who stay diligent. That's what it is. But if you love somebody, you're going to love them through every season because you're not loving anything but the person, but the spirit. A lot of people keep staying. Most women in this generation, they don't cook. My wife too. This is what I'll do for you. And a woman will take that deal, as opposed to being with somebody who truly loves her for who she is.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And vice versa, a man will do the same thing. A man will bypass the way a woman treats him for how she looks.
Right.
Because he feels that brings him status.
For sure. Sure.
But all the time, this chick is hella whack. And she treating you trash. You feel me?
Right. Right.
Like, who wants that?
Right. Yeah, that's corny, man. And we have to see that ends up ruining people's lives. You know what I mean? Even if the woman is or the man is no good for the other person, they still waste time and they still ruin a part of their lives. And one thing I wanted to touch on, you just mentioned love, right? And because we got on this through the Aboriginal thing, I've been thinking about something, man. I seen you post something on IG, and you showed like grandmother, and your grandmother looked like a friend of mine's mother, and I was like, wow, because the resemblance was crazy, right? And it drew me to something I had been saying to my wife frequently. Let's say we come from different belief systems, right? And whether those belief systems are like religions or say gangs, you know what I'm saying? And we tend, because of our existence and our experience, we don't ever think that that person over there could be related to me. And as we get on this Aboriginal tip and we start learning that, we were found in the Americas, we need to really start thinking that quite possibly we're more related than we may have thought. Because it always comes a time when somebody's like, oh, that's my I just met my cousin. This is my third cousin or something like that. Now, why I'm saying this is, if we thought like that, and if we actually took the time to figure it out, we would have no choice but to have more love for each other. Because we would see that we're actually related. That person over there, he might across the country, but that's my cousin. You know what I'm saying? Like, I wouldn't have an issue with this person. I would think twice because that's family. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the day, once you start dotting all the T's, you're gonna find out that everybody is related some way or another that was copper colored. You know what I mean? So you actually have no choice but to build bridges and start to make relationships, because essentially you're all family. You know what I mean? Whether it's first cousin or 10th cousin, you know what I mean? You're still family. And that's where the love would even, when we always talk about Black unity, you know, and just to be clear, I'm saying Black out of general.
We understand.
Yeah. I just want, so we talk about the unity amongst our people. We don't have unity because we don't see each other as family. Even in some of our families, we don't have unity, but on a broader scale, I don't see the dude from Indiana that I've never been to. I don't see those people as possible family members. But I'm sure I've got some family members in Indiana. You see what I'm saying? So this is how we need to, you know, how we can come together, man, and just fill our hearts with more love and compassion for each other, and look to each other with open eyes and open arms, and make a way to like start the healing process. Because how long are we gonna look at each other with skepticism and, you know, thinking somebody wants something from you? No, we got to start saying, what can I do for this person, and how can I come together with this person? You know what I mean? And it starts like that, man. Especially like right now is a time for the love. It's a time for compassion. It's a time for bridge building. You know what I'm saying? And we don't have a choice but to do it, in my opinion.
I think you're 100% right with that, bro. Like, I agree. Like, we gotta just get to that bottom place of just being family again. You know, like, we family. Like, that's how it's gotta be. Like, I make it a point to meet every brother and sister that I see. But let alone people in general, but especially my brothers and sisters, I want to let them know that they matter. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, we gotta let each other know we matter first before we can expect somebody else to think we matter. Like, everybody go, oh, Blackout Tuesday. Why is it a Blackout Tuesday?
Right.
Why are you not always spending with your brother and sister? Why you not always? Right. It's like insane that we think that this little bit of effort that we give here and there is gonna change stuff.
Right.
No, man, that's not it. Like you said, if I can't as a brother, like, bro, I need you to be lit like me, and vice versa. It ain't never go.
And I look at it, we have to get radical with it, from the aspect of I want to be down with my people because they're my people, and it has nothing to do with hurting the feelings of other people. Right. Because I'm not even thinking about them in that moment. Like, I love them too. I have nothing against them. But right now, I'm only focused on my people. And as we build our platform, as we build our structure and unity, we can decide how we want to integrate and how we want to connect with other people. But they can't dictate to us what hurts their feelings and how we communicate to them. No, we have to demand just like they demand to us. And until we can do that, you mentioned something we were building before the live, and you were saying that equity. You mentioned something about equity. And as a people, we don't have the respect from the outer groups or peoples because we don't have equity within ourselves. We haven't built that equity up. If you know, everybody talks about business and they say, well, you know, the best business is real estate. Well, what about the best thing for people is love and communication. So until we build that communication and respect within ourselves, we're not gonna have any respect from outside because they look at us and they're like, y'all don't love each other. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, and I'm sorry to overrun, but
no, you good.
You know, when we can look at each other and say, you know, I'm having a conversation with my brother Malcolm right now, and I see, you know, such and such from another racial group come up, and I'm like, yo, hold up 1 second. Matter of fact, give me 10, because I'm gonna finish this conversation with Malcolm. And when I'm done with Malcolm, I'm gonna talk to you. I'm not gonna tell Malcolm, yo, this is my business partner right here, and we got some business on the table, let me hit you back. Nah, you have to take priority to me first. You know what I'm saying? Because then that person, whatever business I got with him, it's gonna be there. It ain't going nowhere. You know what I'm saying? And then he gonna look at it like, yo, all right, you got that. I'll give you 10. Matter of fact, take 20. You know what I'm saying? Because that's the equity we build inside ourselves, and we show each other respect. They have no choice but to respect us for the simple fact that anything that moves in this world is attached to our energy, is attached to our face, our skin, you know, our comedians, our sports athletes. So they already recognize what we mean to the world. But we don't understand and we don't appreciate what we mean to the world. And it took me coming out here to see that, bro. Like, I see it from a perspective of not being in the States. I see it here. You know what I mean? And I see what we mean to the greater world as well. And until we recognize that, yo, they have no reason to respect us. You know what I'm saying?
You know why it's like that? Because we don't realize that if we leave these people alone, they're going to die off. They need that to survive.
Right.
Literally, why do you think they have bubonic plague and black plague and all of those things in Europe? Is because our woman holds the mitochondrial DNA for every single person on this planet.
They just dropped that today. They dropped that in the news today.
Yeah. So that's why you saw those plagues and stuff take place in Europe. When we migrated, the Moors left and migrated in 70 AD and went to Africa. You know what I'm saying? So now they just start dying off because without our DNA, they can't fight off the diseases. They're going to naturally die because they're not supposed to teach it. That's why they have to steal everything that we had in order to survive in this atmosphere. Think about it. They're not the ones who would grow and be bigger. They're not the ones who are going to benefit from a greater reality, a greater atmosphere and environment. That's why they destroyed it, right? Because we live off nature.
Yeah.
They need things to be genetically modified to fit them.
Yeah.
That's why everything is the way that it is. And we've been forced to just be a part of their system that makes them thrive. Instead of just being like, wait a minute, this ain't for us. We just gonna bounce. But see, they had a commercial contract. I gotta read into it more. But they had a 50-year commercial contract that's supposed to be up, United States. And it's supposed to have been up this year. Recently. The United States Corporation. With the tribes, the indigenous people, they had a commercial contract, which means now all of the United States is tribal land. And so that's why it's so important for us to get on our shit.
Yes, sir.
You can go and start. Gotta start claiming that, bro, because all of their contracts and their treaties and those things are up, and the Supreme Court and the World Court are about to start ruling against the United States. So you got to be in position to capitalize on what's getting ready to happen, because these people are gonna have to leave. But just like it says, there will be houses that you did not build, filled with goods you did not buy. Filled. All of this stuff is in there, bro. That time is supposed to come when you're supposed to have to vacate.
Yeah, that's heavy. That's heavy. That's heavy.
It's real like that. You know, but people gotta realize that they gotta be, because what's gonna happen is people are gonna have to leave, they're gonna have to take their property. But if you're United States property, then you have to go where they go. In captivity, wherever they take you. And that's why we're trying to be free to get their citizenship and their nationalism together. Nationality is everything, you know, and making sure that you got your trust set up. We need to get people's trust set up so they can operate privately.
Yeah, I sent you that.
Yeah, I gotta get into it after we done, right? In a little bit.
make sure you read it when you get a second. You know, like I said, a lot of stuff is taking place, man. Ice Cube with his declaration, and then this sister Cheryl with her declaration. Who knows how many more people are doing it? You know, who's coming forward, and that's the thing. You know, that's one of the reasons I have this platform. Is I want to give you and people like yourself more access to people. As I grow my channel, I put my own money behind it to promote it. You know what I mean? So that we can reach people. But I also have a segment that may not even know about you or this information. So now, when people that know me, this information gets in front of them, you know, it gives them an opportunity to look and learn and go into it. You know what I mean? But it's important for us to know, like all this stuff you're talking about with the law, with nationality, it's important to know. We got this issue with ourselves that we have our thing, and we're not gonna get down with something that isn't our thing. What we gotta understand is it doesn't have to be your thing to know about it. You know what I'm saying? Knowledge is knowledge.
Knowledge is knowledge.
You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you need to know so that you can know not what to do. You know what I mean?
Know what not to do.
Yeah, and I feel like, bro, we have to get to a level where we put some things in place. And I don't care if everybody in that union or whatever you want to call it, confederacy, whatever, ain't doing the same thing. But as a race, we got our stuff together. You know what I'm saying? All these white people don't do the same thing. You know, what makes you think that everybody's going to be on the same page? That doesn't even make sense. In people's families, they're not all on the same page. Now, what I can say about that from a biblical perspective, I know Christ was saying that he came to separate the mother from the son and the father from the daughter, and these things. This is about righteousness. You know what I'm saying? The house or where you're going with the Lord is different. We're never gonna not be black under this law. As long as we're living under this law, they're gonna classify us and identify us as what you see on this screen. You know what I'm saying? And that's it ain't gonna change. We need to get this stuff together, man.
But I believe that will change. I don't know how fast it will, but I think by the end of the year, with enough push, you're gonna see a lot of people who are gonna be like, I'm not black, I'm really this.
I agree, 100%.
Because I'm seeing it already. I'm seeing so many, especially women, finally starting to be like, wow, because you know it's more of us brothers who are taking a stand for it. So now they're starting to go and look more into it because of that. You know, and that's all we want. We want people to at least just think for themselves. Go see if you can figure this out for yourself before you listen to the oppressor. That's all we ask.
Bro,
We ever ask people to do. But I said, don't ridicule your brothers and sisters just because they didn't go to the white man's universities and get a white man's education, which is a formal education and not a liberal education. Don't put your own people down. Why? So you feel better because those white people validated you to play a role to learn their lives? Don't do that to your people who's coming here trying to give you the truth. Give them the time of day that you gave those white professors that you paid all your money, that you're going to spend all your life paying back on these student loans. Your brother giving this to you for free.
Exactly.
It can save your life. But you got in debt to get something you thought you needed, to put yourself in more debt. You see the perpetual debt problem? You went to school, got in debt, to get another job to get in more debt, so that you can pay off the debt that you already have, but then you're going to accumulate more debt once you think that you're more successful because you're going to get a bigger house and more stuff.
Yep.
So now you got a perpetual life of debt, but you swear that you're free.
Right. because they got that God in their hand. They got that freedom God.
That's it. That's
You know
it.
what I mean? They converted to the capitalism.
Got it. I need it. And you know, it don't help. Like materialism's even worse, bro. The social media made it worse. Now it's hella impulsive, right? Because now it's just like, oh, I want it. Boom, click. And people just blowing their money, bro, and don't got nothing to show for it. Then the next thing you look at it, like, why do I have all these clothes?
Yeah.
I don't even go, and then half the people buying shit and they don't go nowhere. Why are you buying stuff to go nowhere?
You gotta be real simple right now with the COVID thing, and you couldn't go nowhere to wear all of that expensive stuff.
I'm laughing at people spend all their money on clothes, bro. I really be laughing at people who spend their money on clothes. I laugh at girls who buy expensive purses. And I'm like, you think what is that gonna do for you?
Yeah.
Who cares that you have this purse?
Right.
Who cares that you have them shoes on? Because see, a real man gonna care about what's inside your head and inside your heart. Because what's inside your head and inside your heart can't be bought by nobody. So if what's inside your head and your heart can be bought, then I don't want to deal with you. That's why the next record we got coming out is called Love Ain't For Sale. And it's another record that I wrote for my daughter, which was pretty much, it's a testament for her on how to not allow herself to get caught up in the world.
Okay.
And I'll send it to you so you can check it out before then. But it's a song that means a lot to me because it's literally called Love Ain't For Sale. And it's just about, it's the cautionary tale to my daughter. Like, don't get caught up in this. Be more than that. So, you know, that's a lot of my music comes from. That's why it's so real for me, you know. So I'm gonna send you that right now, actually. I don't think.
Okay. That's the tough thing for, you know, I got 3 daughters, man, and just the best thing I can do is treat their mother right in front of them, and try to give them, you know, jewels or whatever, or the right tutelage, you know, and balance my discipline and balance my love. And give them an over amount of either. You know what I'm saying? And I can't say I'm the greatest dad or, you know, the worst. But every day, like for anybody that's watching, if you're a soon-to-be father or you're a father, if you're a parent, you can attest or you can, you know, you can please share your insights. But for anybody that's a soon-to-be father, it's not simple. It's an everyday journey, man. And I don't even look at it as females have different, you know, moods and males. I don't have males to compare. But having children, period, today, bruh, you know, trying to monitor the internet usage. Yeah, we homeschool, so making sure they have enough curriculum or lessons to fill them up and keep them growing, you know, mentally. Yo, it's not easy, brother. It's not easy at all, you know. And then you gotta be able to balance your love for multiple children and give, because they all have different personalities.
How was that? You know what I mean? Like that's, you know, you got 3 girls, right? So you got to balance all that love, man. Like, it's 4. Yeah, you got four. 4.
Yeah. So to be honest with you, man, you gotta have love for your wife, and that love competes with the love for the first daughter because that's your first daughter.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And then your love between them comes to the second and then the third. I'll tell you a story about my second child. I actually delivered my second child in the house. We did a home birth, and the midwife was late coming to the house, and I ended up having to deliver her. So I have like a special connection with her, you know, from that in and of itself. And it's not easy, but it's cool at the same time because I try my best to keep it real. I always keep it 100. You know what I'm saying? And I want them to understand, like, a man or the society that you're gonna grow up in is gonna be like X, Y, and Z, and you need to be ready for that. I don't even, to be honest with you, I don't even teach them about men yet. We don't do that. And I leave that up, you know, some of the stuff I leave for my wife to really go. You know what I mean? We have our roles, you know what I'm saying? But yo, it's not simple, you know, but it's fun at the same time, you know? It's fun.
That's what's up, man. I'm happy to hear that there's brothers out here that got the right mindset and that got families, you know. And so I commend you for that, brother. You're doing a great thing, man. And, you know, I'm happy to be here and support everything that you guys want to do. I got a session coming up here in a few minutes, so I got to dip. But I want to say thank you to EDU is Life. You know what I'm saying? Everybody understand education is life. Shout out to Push 548. We're the greatest label in the world. Go to blackjagger.com. Check out free. Make sure you check out at EDU is Life online, anywhere that you can find them. They're doing great things. My man Jay's blowing it up. All the way from Saudi Arabia. Keep it in 1,000. You know what I'm saying? So, bro, when you come to the States, we got a link, man. And, you know, I really appreciate you having me and being a part of the movement that you know, just is not even about me. It's about our people and bringing things to the forefront, which is the truth, raising the vibration with the music, and just everything that we talk about, because we hire people. You know what I mean? And that's just how I want to live my life. You know, a lot of young people, they be like, man, why is your music so different? Like, why do you do all kind of different music? Because I am everything. You know what I mean? Like, I'm not one thing. You know what I mean? I make music to communicate with every single part of my heart. So it got to be like that. So that's how I talk to everybody. You know, so that's the way that I move, man. And it's gonna be a great year. This year's gonna be lit. It's a lot more coming. You know, and let's stay in contact, continue to build, bro.
For sure.
And,
for sure.
I'll tap in because I want to talk about some business. But everybody check in, blackjagger.com. You know what I'm saying? At Black Jagger everywhere. Free is out right now. Get out there and check it out.
All right, brother. Well, we support you. You know, I support you and what you're doing. You know, the love is here. I got your back, and I appreciate you for even putting that out into the atmosphere. Like I said, when I heard it, it touched me in a certain way, and I had to reach out to you, man. Just give you your props, and I was happy that somebody was doing what you're doing on that level. You know what I mean? I appreciate the time. I appreciate, you know, doing this with me, and I look forward to the future with us.
Easy money, brother. Much love.
Much love, brother. All right. Peace out.
All right, peace.
All right, everybody. Well, I appreciate you tuning in to another episode of EDU is Life. We have the brother Malcom Harvest, better known as Black Jagger, and stay in touch with him. Go to his IG, YouTube. You know, get in touch with this information. Find out more about what we were talking about tonight, and learn for yourself. Take some time out each day to research and find out this information, because it's important. It's not just knowledge that will help you become smarter. It's knowledge that will help you become free, that will help you become whole. And at the end of the day, if it doesn't do that, it makes you smarter. It makes you more knowledgeable and aware of things. So hopefully you enjoyed this session. We have much more to come, many more guests with good backgrounds to help you, you know, learn something, because this is not just about entertainment. This is about learning, putting people in front of you who have really special stories, and we want to celebrate these people as well. This wasn't just about interviewing an entertainer. This was about celebrating a brother who put himself out there with a message of truth about our people, about the so-called black people. And this is, like I mentioned earlier, we don't have to apologize for our love for each other, but I do want to make sure to say that we don't discriminate on anybody. We just love ourselves. You know, we love ourselves to the highest extent. And because we love ourselves, we can love everybody else. You know, and that's the thing that needs to be known right now. You know, black people, so-called black people loving themselves gives them the ability to love others. And that's where we're going. And on that note, I want to say thank you for your time.